In the last 12 weeks, I have about $200,000 in new GCI.
Wow. The goal of this is that I'm just going to ask you a really bold question and then a bunch of follow-up questions to really break it down. So the big question is, if you had 100 days to make 100K in real estate, what would you do? That's the question. So don't worry about answering that yet. We're going to break it down much simpler because that's a loaded question, okay? So now let's break it down. Where would you get leads from that would help you get to that 100K mark, right? So where would your lead source be?
So the first thing I would do is negotiate for 105 days, because why not have the extra time? A good negotiator knows how to button elms. So for leads, I have 100 days to generate $100,000.
Mm-hmm. And that includes, doesn't mean it has to be closed, but in the pipeline.
Yeah. No, just generated. Okay. I got you. So Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, FSBOs, my 3 Fs. That's where I'm making my money. They all will play into each other at some point.
All right, which
because
one would you
they're interlocking strategies, but Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, and FSBO. Yeah, in that order. Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, FSBOs.
So that's your lead source. Let's start with number 1, Facebook Marketplace. What do you mean? What are you doing right now? Your 100 days starts.
Making money is easy in real estate. All I have to do is have great conversations with people, figure out what they need, serve them. Everything else makes money. So I want to have as many conversations as I possibly can to serve as many people as I can, because every time I serve somebody, I get paid.
Okay.
So with the Facebook Marketplace strategy, the goal is I want to have as many conversations as possible with either buyers or sellers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put listings on Marketplace to spark conversations with buyers who are actively shopping for the property that's similar to my listing. Right? It might not be exact. They might, something might catch their eye, and then we got to talk about it. But I'm just going to generate conversations with buyers based on the listings I put on Marketplace. Some of those buyers are naturally going to become sellers because they want to buy something, but they already have a home and they got to sell it first. So that's the strategy. Listings on Marketplace, generate as many conversations as possible.
Now, are these only listings that you own, that you have?
No, gosh, no. Because I want as many conversations as possible. So my listings, my fellow agents' listings that I partnered with, I'll ask agents. I go into my hot sheet every morning and I look up the new listings and I go, I like that property. And I text the agent.
For those who don't know, what's the hot sheet?
If you don't know what the hot sheet is, dive into your MLS. Every MLS has a hot sheet. That's going to be the list of changes or active listings within the last 24, 48 hours, depending on how your hot sheet is set up.
Okay.
So basically, I'm going into my MLS every day and I'm looking at the new properties in the areas that I service. And some of them are like, nah. Ooh, I like that property. And I reach out to the agent and I say, hey, Jan, just saw your property at 123 Main Street in the hot sheet. This is Walt Key with Epique Realty. I love that thing about the property. Mention something in the photos, right? So that they know you're not a spammer.
Okay.
I actually look. And I'm just going to ask the question, do you mind if I do some proactive social media marketing to try to drum up some buyers for your listing? I don't need anything from you but your permission. I'll take care of the rest, no cost. I'll give you credit as the listing agent. I would love to bring a great buyer and do a deal with you. Are you cool with that?
What do they usually say?
9 times out of 10, they're like, heck yeah, knock yourself out. I had one recently. This is a true story. On Monday, I read same thing in the hot sheet, saw a listing, seemed great. Her name was Morgan. Hey, Morgan, this is Walt Key with Epique Realty. Hope you're having a great day. Just saw your property in the hot sheet. Love this thing about it. Do you mind if I do some proactive social media marketing to drum up a buyer? I would love to do a deal with you. Mm-hmm. Her response, we actually already accepted an offer on that listing, less than 24 hours.
Wow.
But you're welcome to market any of my listings anytime you want.
And you had that in the text? So you had it in writing?
Yep. Yeah, in writing. Oh. So what do I do? Well, 1, love this gal. Let me keep having a conversation with her.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? Great connection. 2, let me jump on Zillow. Let me jump on Realtor. Does she have other listings? Yeah, 9 of them.
Woo!
Ranging from $300,000 to $1.1 million.
So you got a good spread there too.
So I got 9 properties that I can start marketing to generate a variety of buyers. And this gal sounds great. I would love to do a deal with her. No cost to her, no cost to me. Let's just close deals and make money.
All right,
And
so
we serve each other
let's
along
step
the
back
way.
for a second. Okay, so a couple questions come to mind. One is, let's go to the hot sheet real quick. You said that you go to your MLS, you pull up your hot sheet. In other words, new listings or biggest changes of listings, maybe price drops, things like that.
Yep.
Okay, what criteria are you looking for? Because you said, oh, nah, yeah. What are you looking for?
So 2 things. At first, if you want to replicate this strategy, at first, ask every agent. Don't be picky. You need business. Put everything in Marketplace, right? For me, I have 53 listings in Marketplace right now, and I haven't put those other 9 in there yet.
Wow.
I have literally, no exaggeration, hundreds of conversations a week.
Wow.
Now I've started to be a little more selective because I already have so many in different areas, in different price points, that I can go, I've already seen that one. I've got some of those. That's unique. That's different. That's more acreage.
Okay,
It's got
so
something
initially
special
what
about
you're
it.
saying is
Initially,
just get
throw
it out
all
there
on the wall. Get them out there.
Whoever gives you permission, say thank you and get it onto Facebook Marketplace. Now,
Yes.
you said you had 53 of them up. Did you do them all in one day? What, like, is there?
Oh, no.
No,
So
okay.
Facebook, no, definitely not. So Facebook has this really awesome thing that they do where they make decisions without any human being involved, and they're usually the wrong decisions. Yeah, if you're listening, Zuckerberg, I'm talking to you. So I caution agents when they first start using Marketplace, if you've never used it, if you don't have other things on it, don't go crazy throwing a bunch of listings, because Facebook will assume you are a scammer and they will literally lock down your whole account.
Yeah.
And now you can't do business, right? So what I tell people is 1 a day for at least the first week or 2.
Okay.
Start having some conversations. Start letting the algorithms know you're a real person.
Right.
Then if you want to do a couple a day, 2 or 3 a day, as you know that you've got a routine down, that's fine. Okay. So I started with 1 a day. I think the most I've ever put on one day is 4, but that was weeks after I started doing it.
Got it.
And so it's a little bit of a slow process. You'll do 1 a day for a week or 2. That'll get you 14 listings in a couple weeks. Then you can start expanding from there.
All right, I'm going to keep recapping as we go. So 100K in 100 days. First thing you would do, top lead gen source, Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is free. That I know. Yes. You would go to your MLS. You just pick the listings that are available, that are potentially look appealing, might visually be stimulating, or maybe had a big price reduction. In other words, something to get people talking. If this is your first time doing it, whatever you get permission for, use. You contact the agents of those listings and you go, hey, I'd love to do free marketing, basically, right? I'll give you credit. I'd love to do free marketing. I want to bring you a buyer. Awesome. 1 a day, especially if you haven't been doing it. And after you gain some traction, probably a couple weeks, then you might be able to do 2. You're sitting at 53, so it sounds like there's not really a cap on how many you can have. It's more of just how much business can you handle.
Yes. How many conversations do you want to have? Okay,
so then you've got these listings up. I'm going to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that most of the time they respond like everybody else on Facebook Marketplace, which is this still available?
Is this still available?
Okay, so now run me through the conversation of what happens. Click, is this still available?
Yeah. So, and you're right, 99% of the time, is this still available? That's just Facebook, because you can push a button. So I will respond with that in a little bit of a nuanced way, but you can do whatever you want. I respond, hey, I tag them just so I know that they get it. Happy, whatever the day of the week it is.
Okay.
Happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy Friday, whatever. I hope you're doing well.
Okay.
Yes, this is still available at the moment. What other questions can I answer for you?
So a little urgency at the moment.
At the moment, what other questions, right? And the what other is the open-ended question that hopefully get them, what other questions can I answer for you? I hit send, and then I immediately send them a copy of my business card as well.
Okay.
Just because, right?
Well, it helps you verify. No. It makes you feel more official for sure.
Yeah.
Versus a spammer who's going to use improper punctuation, short little
Exactly.
sentences versus, hey, listen, I want you to see that I'm a real person. I want to be
Exactly
held
right.
to that standard. Okay.
Yep.
So what do you do? So you do this. And again, I'm going to assume, like leads in general, no response. What's your
Yeah.
next follow-up?
Fair bit of the time. So those that respond, we engage, we have a
Right.
conversation.
Those ones you're going to
Those
feel
that
out.
don't respond to, yes, it's still available at the moment. What other questions can I ask? We're going to follow up as many times as we can without driving ourselves crazy. So there's no such thing as too much follow up. Today, this morning, before I jumped on a Zoom call, I went all the way back to a week ago.
All the way back a week ago.
All the way back to, I say that because it's hundreds.
Oh, wow.
In a week.
Okay. Because I was like, that doesn't sound that far.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but you have a lot of, you do this, you have a lot of conversations.
Okay.
All the way back to a week ago. And the follow-up is the same for everybody, copy and paste because it's a lot. But it was basically, hey there, hope you're doing well. Didn't want to leave you hanging. Were there any other questions about this property or any others? I'm an active agent in the market, so if this doesn't fit what you're looking for, I'm happy to find something that does.
Now, you send them properties, or you're just asking if they've seen properties?
I'm just asking if they have any questions about the listing they reached out about or anything else. Because I still don't know what they need. They haven't told me 3-bed, 2-bath, this area. So I'm just trying to gauge. Now, I sent that before an 8 a.m. Zoom call, and I had 11 responses an hour ago.
Interesting.
So a few hour window. So these are people that hadn't responded to me at all. Some of them I had followed up 5 times. And the last follow-up was a week ago.
And that's what I was going to ask. Okay.
So the 6th follow-up, they said something back to me.
3, 4, 5 follow-up then. Like, what
so
are
one of
doing?
those was a listing that went on the market in April, put it on Marketplace, sparked some conversations.
April, long time ago. Yeah.
Months ago now.
Yeah.
Been trickling the follow-up. Her response was, we might be interested in seeing that property. Thank you so much for the follow-up. Do you have additional photos?
And that's like the sixth follow-up?
That was like the 6th attempt.
Okay. Wow.
It's a $1.1 million farm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The follow-up matters.
Jeez, 6 in.
The follow-up matters.
Wow. Okay.
So sometimes the first follow-up, they're like, oh, sorry, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's 6, 7, 8 follow-ups before they say anything. Gotta keep following up.
Now, you saying the same thing then? Like, do you have more questions? Or are you trying different things?
I mix it up every time. And don't overthink it, but I don't want to sound like a robot. So one time I might say, well, for example, so like this particular listing went on the market in April. On July 4th, I messaged dozens and dozens of people. And my follow-up on July 4th was a fun little witty thing where I would made a joke about, if the fireworks burn the house down, I'm happy to buy them another one. Ha ha, right? So that was different.
Some humor, something different. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Sometimes it's, hey, I didn't want to leave you hanging. Did you have any questions that I need to answer for you? Sometimes it's, hey, did you have any questions about that property? Is there anything else I can do for you? Right. I'm just mixing it up slightly, but I just want to keep engaging with them until they say, nope, leave me alone.
Okay.
Cool. Delete the message. We're done here. Or, hey, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this thing.
Okay. So for those jumping into Marketplace right now, it sounds like, because someone's going to hear this for sure. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go make $1 million by posting listings on Facebook Marketplace. So let's set some realistic expectations.
Yeah.
Out of every 100 conversations, how many actually respond the first time? Again.
So I would say, a ballpark. Out of 100, is this still available? Yes, it is. For the moment, what else can I answer for you? 10 people respond.
Okay. That's what I was going to assume too. And
give or take.
10% response rate is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Right? And so of the 10 that respond, a couple of those will drift off. A couple of those will be like, let's go look at that house.
Right.
And a few more will be like, we're kind of looking at this, maybe this, run me a search. You can build the relationship with it.
True prospects, more engaged prospects, we're sitting about 1 to 3% range.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because if you take conversion ratios for leads in general, it's actually below 1%. So if you're getting above 1% from a lead source, you're above average. So that's good. Okay. And so then everybody listening, listen to that. Okay. He has 53 listings. So if you have 3 up and you go, nobody's talking to me, you have 50 more to go.
And here's an interesting thing about Facebook Marketplace. What I've noticed, again, 53 listings. Some of the listings spark dozens of conversations. Some of the listings spark zero conversations.
Okay.
Maybe it's the price. Maybe it's the house doesn't catch their eye. Whatever it is,
Right.
you're going to have listings that you put on there and no one's going to look at it.
Well, and also
You're gonna have-
Marketplace is an algorithm, and people need to understand that too. I had a video recently that got a ton of views. Part of the reason why it got a ton of views, even though the video before it and after it got very little views, was simply because someone happened to see it at the right time and shared it, and then it caught
And then
kind
it
of like an
feeds.
algorithmic coattail, and we got a little boost. So it could also be that just simply
Yeah.
people didn't look at it quick enough to where the
Could be.
algorithm just pushed it down and said this is not relevant, versus someone immediately connecting with a marketplace listing is going to help the algorithm to say, maybe we need
Yeah.
to give a little more attention to this.
Yeah,
Okay, so
for
that's
sure.
good
That's
for
absolutely-
agents listening, having those realistic expectations of the marketplace, because I think there's always that tendency to be like, oh, I put one listing up, where's my 100 conversations? But you're telling me 53 listings leads to hundreds of conversations, which
Yeah.
means that we're basically
And-
a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, and realistically, a dozen listings lead to hundreds of conversations. But you don't know which dozen it is until you keep putting enough on there.
Well
Right?
said.
Right?
Right.
Because again,
Right.
I was sparking great conversations when I had 15 listings. But it was only a couple of the listings that were really driving the conversations. I closed deals already that I
what's so
reached
funny?
out a few months ago, and we've already closed deals from this. And then I've got 53, and obviously I'm having more conversations, but it's not 53 listings are pinging. It's 53 listings, and maybe a dozen of them are really doing most of the work.
That is that you literally just gave a very statistical proof of the 80-20 rule. You said I have 53 listings and roughly 10 to 12
Yeah.
of them. And that, guys, if you do the math, it's
20%.
roughly 20%.
Yeah,
Roughly
you're absolutely
20% produces 80% of the
80% of the
results that
results.
you're wanting. So guys,
Absolutely right.
please
You're
listen to
100%
Walt
right.
as he's telling you this. Okay, if you post a dozen listings and you go, where's my 100 conversations? Post a dozen more and keep going and trust the process. Okay, all right. So I think we've got enough on Facebook Marketplace, because there's other steps to. I know you're not just going to Marketplace and then say, there, I made 100K. You gave me 2 other lead sources.
Yeah.
So now let's see how those Facebook groups
Yep.
and then
And FISBOs.
FISBOs. So let's go to Facebook groups next, as that was next in order. So
Okay.
Marketplace is good. Your listings are running. You're engaging with
Yep.
your conversations. Now, where do Facebook groups come into play?
Okay, so 2 parts. One, and it's going to, again, they're going to daisy chain. They're going to tie in. When you put your listing on Facebook Marketplace, share it in all of the applicable groups in your community. The buy, sell trades, the resales, the
Got
yard
it.
sales.
Okay.
Because that's more exposure for the listing that you can have conversations with. So that's an aspect of it.
Okay.
The Facebook groups that I'm referring to, though, are not your buy, sell, trade, resale, garage sale, yard sale things. Those are great for the listings.
Okay.
Those aren't where conversations happen.
Got it. So
Right.
the buy, sell, trade, the obvious ones, in other words, those are just a marketing branch off of your listing. You're taking your listing
Exactly right.
and you're just branching it off.
Yeah.
The other groups that you're talking about are
Community groups. So what's going on in city, county, town? Word of mouth, city, county, town. City, county, town, community news.
Okay.
These are the group. I call these the chatty Cathy groups. Right? Hey, who knows a good plumber? What's going on with all those cop cars on the end of the corner?
Yeah.
Whose dog is this? Right? Those groups.
yes.
Because that's where conversations in your market are taking place.
Okay.
And there's 2 things that you want to do in those groups consistently. One, add value. So, and not real estate value, just
I
add
was just
value.
gonna
Whatever
say,
the group
let's
is about,
specify what value
engage
is.
with the group. So as a quick example, right now in Florida, we are under what they call a back to school tax holiday. If you go buy back to school clothes, back to school supplies, electronics that you're going to use for school, no sales tax.
Oh,
That's only until August 11th, 10 more days.
got it.
So I went into all my local community groups a couple days ago, and I just posted a little snapshot And I said, hey, don't forget, this is running right now until August 11th. If you've got stuff you need to buy for your kiddos before they go back to school, grab it while it's tax-free. Here's a link to all of the things you can buy tax-free.
That is awesome.
Nothing real estate related, just valuable.
Okay.
People love that.
Makes sense.
Right?
Okay.
Help your community. Now, you do that because the way Facebook groups work, if someone looks me up in the group, the first thing Facebook is going to show them is, what did I actually contribute into the group? Right. What did I personally post?
Right.
And if I've never posted, they have no idea that I'm a real person, that I actually am in the community. Like, I could be anybody.
And the algorithm's not going to push you at all either, because you're irrelevant.
But if they see that I'm posting valuable content, what about this? Did you guys see this thing? Are you going to this event next weekend? Hey, did anyone hear about this? They go, oh, this is a legit human being in my market. And that's important. The other part of this is you actively prospect the Facebook group consistently throughout the week. And that is very simple, but nobody does it. Go into the group, open all of your groups in a different tab. Just every group that you're a member of, open it in a tab on your browser.
My browser, but okay.
Right? Click the little search bar on the top right. Click. You're going to keyword search the group. This is active prospecting. I'm not scrolling the group for an hour hoping I find something. I'm going to be very focused because my time is precious. I'm going to go look for what I need. I personally like to do realtor, lender, and boxes. Those are my three favorite words.
Realtor, lender, and boxes.
Realtor, lender, and boxes. You can do agent, you can do moving, you can do other things, but I just find that realtor, lender, boxes are my favorite.
Got it.
Boxes, honestly, is my favorite. And we're going to do a keyword search because we don't want to waste time looking through hours of stuff that the algorithm has shoved everything to the bottom. I want that stuff at the top. Okay. So keyword search, realtor, sort by newest. There's a little button after you run the search that says
so
most
not just
common.
A 5-year-old post.
Right. Facebook will say, oh, you want to talk about realtors and the most recent? Here it is. Keyword search, boxes, sort by most recent. Boom, there it is right at the top. All we're looking for is the post that logically indicate someone needs an agent here. So does anyone know a good real estate agent? No brainer,
Pretty
right?
Obvious.
But things like, does anyone know a lender? Look, nobody asks for a lender because they're going to buy the new cell phone and they need $1,000 loan. They don't
even do it for cars. They just use.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
Nobody goes and asks an independent lender for a car loan. They either do it in-house or they do it at their local bank. So if someone's asking, does anyone know a good lender? There's a 99.875% probability, made that up on the fly, that they are planning to buy a house and they're in the early stages of it.
Right. Because there is some statistics out there that says that people will look at their money before they'll talk to an agent. They'll look at their credit score. They'll look at their bank account. They'll look at like basically their financial situation before they go talk to an agent, because they believe, for those listening, they believe that talking to an agent is the next level of commitment. And they don't want to, even though, yes, we would love for them to start with us. The reality is that most people, I mean, think about it. Hey, we should go buy a car. You don't call the car salesman first. You look at your bank account. You go, can I afford this? Can we afford to? Because you don't want to go and do a bunch of work. You don't want to talk to people. You don't want to commit to anybody. You don't want to make promises.
So find out you can't do it.
So that makes sense that they would go and look for the lender first.
Of course.
To get us
before they ever start talking to a realtor. Now, here's where you as a realtor or real estate agent, if you're not a member in R, can add value. Does anyone know of a great lender? I'm going to message that person directly.
Okay.
Hey, Jan, saw your comment in the Keystone Heights word of mouth group about needing a lender. Hey, listen, I'm a local real estate agent and I've worked with a lot of lenders. They're not all amazing. Would it be helpful if I introduce you to a couple that have really taken good care of my clients? Would that be beneficial to you?
I love that you said they're not all amazing, because
they're not.
I think that what that does is it's without bad mouthing anybody in particular. Never bad mouth anybody, guys.
No, but it lets them know you got to be selective.
There's a right way to do this. That's right. There's a right way. There's a good lender and there are bad lenders. And that is the truth. In any industry, there are good agents, there's bad agents. That's just the truth. Okay.
Yep. So I'm going to message them that, hey, listen, I'm a local realtor, so I work with a lot of lenders. Would love to connect you with some that I know they've been great for my clients. Would that be helpful? Then I'm going to go back to the post that they made. I'm going to tag them in the comments. That's super important. Always tag them in the comments is the way Facebook works.
So you did the message first.
Message first, then tag. Hey, Jan, just sent you a message about some lenders. So Jan knows, go look for Walt's message.
Okay.
Now, here's why we don't send the message after we tag them. Maybe Jan's Johnny on the spot. And you say, hey, Jan, just sent you a message about some lenders. And then your phone rings. And you're like, ah, crap, that's my title rep. I need to take that. And you're on the phone for 4 minutes. And in that 4 minutes, Jan looked for you and you weren't there. Your reputation's shot. They'll never do. You lied to her. You didn't message her anything.
Yeah, there is a lesson, right? Even though it was innocent.
You didn't mean to,
but
you left her hanging.
Yeah.
Right? So message them first, then tag them, hey, I sent you a message.
Okay.
That's, that works for the lenders. Obviously, the realtors is a no-brainer, right? Engage with them too. Boxes is one of my favorites because, right, again, kind of like the lenders, if somebody says, does anyone know where I can get some boxes? They're not moving the dishes from the dining room table to the kitchen sink. They are in the early stages of a move. Maybe they haven't even talked to a lender yet. They're trying to declutter and pack up and get ready for whatever this move is, right? Yeah. So as the agent, you can add massive value there. Message them. Hey, Jan, saw your comment on Palatka Community News about needing some boxes. Hey, listen, I'm a local realtor, so I constantly have clients coming and going. I can usually get my hands on tons of boxes. What do you need? When do you need it? Go back to the post. Hey, Jan, message you about some boxes.
Can you just save in Amazon boxes, basically?
This is so 360 full circle. It's amazing.
Okay.
I always have boxes in my SUV because in those same groups, I add value by saying, hey, if you guys got boxes, don't throw them away, please. I'm a local realtor and I love to have some on hand to give to my clients. I'll come get them from you.
Yes.
I'll come get them from you.
You're literally branding yourself as a real estate agent indirectly by not being salesy. You're not saying, I want to sell you a house. You're saying, I'm helping people. Right. I'm helping people with boxes. You can be part of helping people. I'll pick up your trash basically for you.
Exactly. So I did this.
Nobody wants to break down and put in their trash can.
I did this a couple weeks before Christmas last year, right? As an example. And I've done it multiple times since. But I went into all the groups with a picture of a bunch of boxes. And I said, hey, I can't believe the year's already over. Time flies when you're having fun. Hey, listen, if Santa's nice to you and you get a bunch of boxes that are in good shape, do me a favor. Don't throw them away. I'm a local realtor. I constantly have clients coming and going. I like to have some boxes on hand so I can help them. I will come get your boxes so that you don't have to throw them all away. Let's pay it forward and reuse them. In 1 week, I filled a Ford Expedition with boxes. It wasn't even Christmas yet. They were just like, I got boxes right now.
I got boxes right now.
So here's what happened. In 1 week, I filled a Ford Expedition full of boxes. I passed out about 30 business cards to people that I met to take their boxes.
Yeah.
And I said, thank you so much. I'm sure my clients will really appreciate this. By the way, here's a few business cards. If you know of anybody looking for boxes or a good realtor,
so smart.
Or a good realtor, feel free to give them my card. Thank you.
Short, sweet, easy.
I spent 25 minutes in a new family's garage breaking down boxes with them to put in my car. And they were explaining to me how they've got a house over on this side of town that they're selling because grandma let them move into their house, but it doesn't look like it's going to sell because that agent's not amazing. I didn't even bring up the agent. So maybe if she doesn't get it sold and it expires, we'll give you a call. I wasn't trying to get a listing. I was just getting some boxes, but I built a great relationship with that family and just literally cutting the boxes and putting them in the car.
That's amazing.
So much value you can add. Now, why do we do this, right? If I have boxes on hand, you can put them in your car. You can put them in your garage. You can put them in your office behind the Zoom call, right? I could have 50 boxes in this room and no one would know.
Yeah.
Right? You can put boxes in. You can put broken down boxes under your bed. Just have some. And when someone says, I need some boxes, you can solve their problem. I have boxes. What do you need? When do you need them? You're going to go meet them physically to give them boxes. You're going to be face to face with them.
Wow.
So,
Huge.
when are you moving? Where are you moving?
Right.
Oh, you're going to be renting? When's your lease on this place up? Oh, 3 months. Have you ever thought about buying?
Yeah.
I mean, in this market, it's actually cheaper to buy a house than it is to rent. Is anyone helping you with that? Just have a conversation with them.
You know what's so funny is I've done what you said. And part of the way it came about, I just discovered it accidentally, is my wife went and when she was pregnant and she wanted a rocking chair, to hold and nurse the baby in, right?
Yeah.
And so she went to Facebook Marketplace and bought it. And then I show up to this person's house to get the thing. And then it clicks, right? My brain is like, wait a second. Why are they getting rid of this? I should ask. Just ask.
Yeah. Ask the question.
Thanks so much. By the way, why are you selling this? Well, the kids are getting bigger. We need more space.
Yeah.
Oh, do you now?
How about a 4-bedroom instead of a 2? I got you.
Yeah. And so then all of a sudden my brain was like, oh my gosh, anytime anybody's selling anything, boxes, all of that on Marketplace and Facebook, there's a good chance that they're a great potential lead. All right. So we'll get too distracted on this. So we got that.
Yeah.
So before we get too far, on the Facebook Marketplace, lead strategy number 1, how much time a day are you spending on it? That's important. How much time are we talking about between posting the listing, looking at the hot sheet, contacting agents, and following up with people on that? Like how much time?
30 minutes.
Including the follow-up.
The follow-up is sporadic throughout the
and
day.
And I don't mean like the direct conversations. There's no way to gauge those. But I mean just overall follow-up.
Logging into your MLS, scanning the hot sheet, texting the agent. And again, it's copy-paste, change the name, change the phone. I mean, it's a template essentially of a text. Waiting for them to respond and then putting their listing in Marketplace, 30 minutes. Responding to, is this still available? It's a 15-second, right? Maybe another 30 minutes a day.
Okay, so we're looking at
so that entire strategy is an hour a day at most.
Okay, so now Facebook groups that you just talked about, how much time a day?
30 minutes a day.
Okay, so now we're looking at hour and a half.
Because literally, you're going to pull up all the groups in one tab. Keyword search, realtor, sort by newest, nothing today, next. Keyword search, boxes, sort by newest, nothing today, next. Keyword search, lender. Oh, let me engage this one. Hey, saw your comment, da-da-da-da-da, would love to help, blah, blah, blah. Tag, I sent you a message. Next.
Okay, so this makes sense. So we're looking at an hour and a half. So then how does the third strategy, which feels way out of left field, right? I said left field as I went right. Way out of left field, for sale by owners. How does that fit into the first 2 lead gen sources?
So first, it starts with F, so they're all the same. No, I'm just make that.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. It's all the alphabet, baby.
It's a sign.
ABCs, in the Da Vinci and make money. So with the marketplace strategy, right? Understand the goal is put listings on Marketplace.
Right.
Well, FSBOs have houses to sell. That's a listing. So if I called it for sale by owner and I said the word realtor, they go, geez, here we go again. You're trying to get my listing? I don't want to do that to somebody.
Yeah, the 50th call they've gotten.
But if I call and say, hey, saw your property on Zillow for sale by owner. Hey, listen, I'd love to bring a great buyer. Are you working with a buyer's agent? If I bring you the right buyer and a great price? Yeah, sure. We'll work with you. Cool. Listen, I'm not interested in listing your house. I just want to try to help. Would you mind if I did some proactive? I've a pretty good presence on social media. Would you mind if I did some marketing for you? And I'll screen the buyers. I'll vet them. I'll make sure they're qualified. Not waste your time with tire kickers. And if I find the right buyer, could I bring them?
Wow.
Well, hell yeah, you can. Right?
That's powerful.
So I'm going to take the FSBO. I'm going to put it in Marketplace. I'm going to find buyers that match what they need. I don't need to list their house to get paid. I just need to close the deal and help them. Now, make no mistake. Sometimes you will list their house because I'm the only one trying to help.
Actually,
I'm the only one adding real value.
Everyone else is trying to
and I am the only one following up consistently.
Yes. Yes.
So if I haven't brought the right buyer fast enough and they're like, we're tired of trying this on our own, they may ask you to list their house. I have had that happen. I close on a deal next week. FSBO, can I market this for you? I'd love to bring the buyer. 2 weeks later, hey, Walt, can we talk about you listing our house?
Wow.
I
Okay, so
never
let's do
asked the
that.
question.
So you basically already said what you do on the phone. It's really simple. No like weird script techniques and like having to have the right words. It's very simple because it's very truthful. Hey,
Yeah,
I see your property. I want to bring a buyer. If I bring a buyer and it's a good offer, will you pay a buyer's agent commission? Yes.
yeah,
Okay. By the way, can I also market your property? I'm very active on social
yeah,
media. No cost to you. I would assume the average person is going to be like, absolutely, it's free.
yeah. Knock
What
yourself
do I
out.
have to lose? And every now and then you might pick up a listing, but the goal really is to have a for sale by owner to market, to bring them an actual buyer that
Yeah,
will buy the property, get paid your buyer's
yep.
commission, and a cherry on top or pleasant surprise is, hey, we also want you to list. Okay, so how
Yep.
much time are you talking about those then?
Now, if you're calling a lot of FSBOs in your market, that's going to take a little extra time, right? Because conversations
Yeah.
take a little extra time than just scanning through Facebook. So I would say an hour a day when you do it.
Okay.
You can have 10 great conversations in 5 minutes apiece. Or even if you have 5 great conversations and you leave 5 voicemails within a 45 minute to an hour time frame. So
I think
maybe
that's
now. Now,
fair.
you don't
Yeah.
have to do that every day. You can, but there's not necessarily going to be a brand new FSBO every day. So that might be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right.
I'm going to dedicate 30 minutes or an
I like
hour
it.
each of those times to call the newer FSBOs in my market or to work through the list of FSBOs in my
Right.
market.
Okay, so if we turned around and said 1.5 each day.
We're talking about 2 to 3 hours of solid work to execute all 3 of these strategies.
Yeah, and then if we talk about Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's an hour each, that's another 3 hours. So we're talking about 10 and a half hours a week for
Yeah.
hundreds potential conversations. Now, how are you
Yeah.
following up with the for sale by owners?
So usually I'll follow up through text.
Okay. Like a screenshot of like your marketing or something, or what are you
No,
following up with
just
them
a
about?
quick summary, right? Don't engage people through text. A real conversation needs to happen if you want to build a relationship.
Okay.
You can follow up on relationships through text all day. That's fine.
Right.
For the FSBOs, get them on the phone. At the very least, call them. If they don't answer, leave a quick voicemail, send them a text
So you're
immediately.
marketing my property. And
Yeah.
and it's going awesome. I gave you permission. You don't have a buyer yet, so you don't have that to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's been a week now. I'm the FSBO. What are you
Yeah.
texting me?
So I'm going to text you, hey, happy Friday. Hope you had a great week. Just want to let you know I'm still proactively marketing your property. I've had about X number of people take a look at it, but no one's serious yet. I'm going to keep doing it. Is there anything I can do for you in the meantime?
Got it. Okay.
Right?
So just a
Because on
straightforward
Facebook,
report, basically.
on Facebook, it'll tell you how many people viewed the listing, how many people saved the listing, how many people shared the listing. So there is some data I can acquire.
Nice.
And I'll just say, hey, listen, I had a few dozen people look at the marketing I'm doing. Nobody's serious just yet. I continue to work through that. In the meantime, is there anything at all that I can do to help you?
Okay. I like that. All right. So so now we've got lead gen, and I'm glad we start with that because we all know that that's one of the heaviest parts, especially if you're trying to make 100K in 100 days. So,
Yep.
and we included follow-up. We talked about the follow-up to them. We talked about
Follow-up
the
is great.
follow-up in the Facebook Marketplace, the groups. So really, 2 hours, 2.5 hours each day for lead gen and follow-up is nothing. That's like
Nope.
that should be basic standard in my opinion. Okay, so now you've got the lead gen and you've got the follow-up done, and that's what you do. You have, let's say you just work 8 hours a day, right? Let's just treat it like a normal job. Okay, so 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. We've got 10, I'll even round it up, 11 hours spoken for on lead gen and follow-up each week. Okay, so now you have 29 more hours left in a week. What are you doing with that time?
Taking a nap, counting my money. No, so just taking the boat out and just enjoying the day. So obviously these are 3 strategies that work very well, but they're not that time intensive. So if you understand there's a life dynamic. Real estate agents want freedom. They want monetary freedom. They want time freedom. They want freedom to be with their families. So one is you don't have to work 40 hours a week to be successful in real estate. That's okay. If you're doing the work to be successful, enjoy some time that other people can. That's a factor, right?
Okay.
The other thing is, if you're doing these things really well and you've got all that time left, do more things.
Okay.
Be more active on your own
So what
social.
would you
Plan
do?
an open
100K,
house
100
every
days.
weekend.
What would you do? You want to work at least 40 hours a week. You're like, listen,
Okay,
I'd be
so
working another job anyway at 40 hours a week. I can work this.
I
job.
got you. So social media content, I'm always going to be posting on social just to spark engagement and my own personal social profile. I like to post in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening at a minimum.
Oh, wow. So 3 times a day.
It's not all salesy stuff. I'm just being goofy, sharing memes.
So it might be a meme.
Sometimes I might talk about real estate. I ask great questions to engage people, right? The best thing you can do on your social is post something that sparks an emotion and ask a question.
Okay. So can you give us an example of a question that gets people talking?
Yeah. What did I post the other day?
We can pull up your profile if you need me to.
Yeah, right. There's something. In any case, it doesn't matter. So tell a story about something you did, something a client did, something a family did, something fun, and then just turn that around and say, what's the craziest thing you've experienced? When was the last time this happened to you? Is there anything else I should have done? Just engage with people. Just ask any kind of question to get them to engage on your profile, because it feeds the beast. It feeds the algorithm. So just try your best to engage people.
This is funny. So let me. I want to actually share this because I think this is funny. It's local. So let's do this. It's the first time I've ever shared screen on
nice. Let's do
on
it.
Riverside. Okay, here we go. So I thought this was funny. So a day ago.
Perfect.
To be clear.
Now,
go ahead.
Here's where I failed on that one, right? I wanted it to be funny. I wanted people to react to it, but I didn't ask a question. Right? So you notice there's only 10 comments.
Yeah.
I didn't give them anything to engage with. That's bad on me.
Yeah. But listen,
right?
10 comments is still better than the average person.
Had I said something like, when was the last time you were chased by the cops? Right?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
People would have been like, well, I did this, or I almost did it. We almost got arrested, this and that. The people would have engaged with it. But I just didn't ask the question, right?
70 plus. Yeah. I think it was still funny. So I see what you're saying, though, is that you do talk a little bit of real estate. You're going to share some personal, funny stuff. You picture of the dog. This is what happiness looks like. Be a real person.
Be a real person so people can connect with you. Okay. And then do your best to ask questions that allow your audience to engage with you. And then, super important, when they engage with you, engage back.
Right. Don't just leave them hanging.
Don't just go like. Okay, my job is done here. One, don't like it, love it. It's an algorithm thing, right? The reactions are different. But answer every single one of the comments. Yeah. Engage with them in some way, right? If
you somebody got 6 hours left in your day, you got time.
Yeah, you've got time, right? Engage with people because it feeds the beast. It lets them know you're engaging. They see what they're saying. And that's going to help you build business in the future.
Okay, so you're commenting back. Absolutely agree with that. Even asking extra questions. So they answer. Yeah. Most people answer very punctually, meaning they don't ask a question to keep the conversation going. So you need to think of a way to keep the conversation going. If you go, when's the last time you got arrested? And they answer back, July 29th, 1999. You don't go, ha, ha, ha. You go, whoa, what happened?
Tell me more about
on
that.
July 29th, 1999. Right. And try to get them to talk, because this does boost your algorithm, which means they're going to see more of your content. And if you have the right content, and remember, it doesn't even have to be real estate, as long as overall they know you're in real estate. They do need to know what you're doing, but they also just need to see you in general, because seeing you builds trust and familiarity. Okay. So this makes sense. So you're doing social media. How long does that take you, would you say, in a day?
If you're posting 3 times a day, and you're good engagement, and you're responding to everybody, an hour or 2 a day.
Okay.
Because again, I'm going to post in the morning. When I post in the afternoon, I can respond to all the morning stuff. Yeah. When I post in the evening, I can respond to the afternoon and a little bit more of the morning stuff. The next morning, I post in the morning. I respond to the evening stuff.
So I got a
right?
question for your Facebook then. Okay, so we just were looking at your Facebook profile, your personal one, for everybody who doesn't understand that was his personal profile. Now you're engaging with all these people in groups, Facebook groups, and marketplace listings. Are you adding any of them as friends so they can see your content, or are you not?
So I have a creator profile, which allows me to have followers or friends. I constantly max out on the 5,000 friends.
Okay.
So what I do instead is anytime somebody reacts to my stuff, whether it's on my profile or in a group, if they react in any way, they like it, they love it, they LOL it, they cry at it, whatever they do, you can click on the reactions button and it will show you everyone who reacted, and you can invite every single one of them to follow you.
Okay. So that they can
build that into your social media routine. After you jump back into social that day, click on the reactions bar, and anyone who hasn't already been following you,
so would
or you
add
haven't
them as
already
a friend
invited,
if you weren't maxed out? So for those listening,
I would. Yeah,
Okay.
I would if I wasn't maxed out.
Most agents are not going to be maxed out listening to this. Most of them might have 1,000 at best. So I was just curious, like, would you
Yes, if you've got bandwidth for it,
Okay.
invite them and friend them.
All right, so we're at 3.5 hours now. You've already done a lot with your day. Pretty impressive. So I'm going to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, after a couple weeks of having lots of conversations and follow-ups, you're going to start hitting appointments, you know, and when I say appointments, I mean listing appointments and or showing appointments. So would you say 2 or 3 hours? And would you say it's every day, or would you say more of a weekly thing?
So I teach agents to build their calendar out with appointments in one of two ways. Either this day, this time is my block for appointments.
Okay.
And you can have multiple. Thursday from 1 to 3 and Saturday from 9 to noon appointments. Block it out. You know it's always available. If somebody wants an appointment, you book it. The other thing you can do is you can alternate your really busy days with your not so busy days. So for example, if you were to look at my calendar, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, chaos. I like it that way.
Okay.
Tuesday, Thursday, a little bit more open. There's always some white space. And I know if there's white space, I can book an appointment.
Okay.
Because I've already prioritized my other important business activities.
You did what you have to do.
So I know that I can book appointments if there's white space. So either one of those
works,
for people
you listening.
Absolutely have to have appointment time.
This is very important for people listening. You have to prioritize the core business basics right away so that you can go do the unpredictable things later. You don't always know. You will get a last minute message saying, can you see this house in the afternoon? And if you haven't done your lead gen or your follow-up, what happens is, sure, you need to go do that appointment. Absolutely. But now you're denying yourself business in the future because you didn't do. So this is why you can seriously, like, take this in, everybody. You all know agents who are busy and broke. And part of that is because they're agents who live paycheck to paycheck. They only do what they need to do in the moment, and they chase the dollar rather than the process of consistent income. And so they go, I'll do my lead gen eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, an appointment comes. And then
I call that riding the income roller coaster.
Well said.
I have no business, so I have time to generate leads. Oh, look at that. I got some leads. I'll stop lead generating to service this business to get it to the closing table. Yay, we closed 2 deals this month. I got money. But I wasn't lead generating, so now I have no pipeline.
Yeah.
And then for the next 90 days, I'm freaking broke.
Okay.
So I have time to lead gen. So I generate business. And then I service it. And then I generate it. And then I service it. And it's like being on that roller coaster, constant up and down.
And they'll never do enough.
You have to prioritize this. Lead generation never stops.
Yeah.
Never.
Follow-up never stops.
You have to lead gen. You have to follow up, because if you don't, you
4
will be broke
years
again.
ago of follow-up. And had I not done my follow-up, that would be one less listing I had today.
Yep.
Okay, so all right, so I've got a pretty good picture now. So let's just average it out over the week and say you spend between an hour and 2 hours of appointment stuff. Because if you're having hundreds of conversations, you're being proactive, you're being consistent, you're
Yep.
in one day you might have 10 hours of showing. So that's why we're going to average it out just
Yeah.
so we fill up your day. So
Yeah,
now
that's fair.
you've spent 6 hours, 6.5 hours of your day. You have 1.5 hours left. Are we doing admin work, writing contracts,
Yeah.
organizing some things, answering emails, lender follow up? So would you say that
Yeah.
last hour and a half, or is there anything else that you're kind of squeezing in there?
No, so you're always going to have a little bit of dedicated follow up time built into your day to make sure you never drop the ball on your clients. But one of the key priorities in our business, we have to service the clients that we have.
Yeah.
So absolutely, yes, I might need some time to write an offer. I might need some time to go to a home inspection. I might need some time to write up a home inspection repair request
Right.
contingency. I might need some
So
time to
kind of
call
like
the title rep and make
admin,
sure we're tracking.
HR basically work.
You gotta
Yeah.
do it, right? You gotta run the drill. And so all of those immediate client needs have to have time on your calendar as well.
So would you
Absolutely.
do
So
lead gen, follow up, admin work, and then unpredictable stuff like appointments? Which is that how you would, in an ideal world where nothing interrupts it, would you start your day with lead gen, then follow up, then admin
yes.
work, then
So I like to tell people you have to work in your business and on your business all the time. So what does it mean to work on my business? Well, that's lead generation, that's follow up, that's setting appointments. I'm working on my business to generate it. The working in your business is talking to the title rep, talking to the lender, talking to the home inspector, talking to the client, writing the paperwork, doing the inspections. I like to work on my business before lunch and in my business after lunch, generally, right? And that may flex a bit. I like to do the lead generation, the bulk of the follow up, the setting of appointments earlier in the day.
okay.
And then I'll do my these things gotta happen later in the day. And if there's some things, you might have a day where there's not much that has to happen. Great. Breathe.
Okay, so let me ask you the big question then, okay? So you've given us a very good rundown of your day. It sounds awesome. It sounds consistent. It sounds great. It all sounds good in theory, right? Yeah. So then to kind of summarize it, bring it all together, does it work? You have 100K in 100 days. You haven't added anything else yet to me that I know of. So you said this is the main stuff. Now, I'm sure there's always extras to add. Yeah. Does it work? You've lived this. Does it work?
In the last 12 weeks, really 11, because I haven't sat down and crunched my numbers for the 12th week, but roughly the last 12 weeks, so that's 90 days, mm-hmm. I track my GCI. Where's it coming from? How much is it? Right? Active, pending, closed, future business. If you're not tracking your business, you have no business. You got to know what's going on. In the last 12 weeks, I have about $200,000 in new GCI.
Wow. And how much, okay, let's be fair. How much of that would you attribute to repeat business or business from other sources not mentioned in this plan?
Of all of that, I have some Google direct calls because I have a Google profile. I have 2 that were SOI.
Okay.
I have 1 that I have listed as a repeat customer.
Okay.
1 that is listed as a referral.
So about 50%?
Everything else that's generating to that GCI, Facebook, FSBOs, groups, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, and FSBOs.
So would you say, let's say, so 200 GCI, which is absolutely insane for 90 days. Would you say 50% then was other sources not on the plan? Or what would you say the ratio is?
I would say probably about 75%. I'm just looking at it quickly as we talk. Probably about 75% of that GCI is exactly what I just laid out.
Wow.
Facebook Marketplace, Facebook group, FSBOs.
Wow. Okay, so that's huge. So that's the 100K in 100 days. Now, I love doing this segment because I think it's just so cool to actually get into it. Like we actually looked at your day, how much time you're spending, what you're saying, where you're going. Like I would argue, and if anybody listening has questions, I want you to drop comments and ask those questions. I'll get with Walt and I'll make sure we answer them. But I would like to think that anybody listening could probably just take this and have a good enough understanding. They won't be perfect, but a good enough understanding to go out and just do the work. However, you're one of the unique ones. You run a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the last minute or two before we wrap up, tell us about the challenge that you run.
Yeah. So we have a challenge called Shocking 100K in 100 Days Challenge. We're about to launch the third round of it. The numbers I just gave you were from the very first round, so we're not quite done with our 100 days, but I'm tracking my GCI from the challenge, roughly 200,000 in 12 weeks. It's exactly what I just laid out. It's Facebook Marketplace, it's Facebook groups, it's FISBOs, it's consistent follow-up. Open houses is part of the strategy because why would you not? You're already talking to agents. You're already talking to FISBOs. Go host some open houses. That's a wonderful lead generation strategy,
especially with the changes coming up.
Many different ways to work that, and we just launched the challenge. We give everybody the roadmap. We give everybody the tools, the Google Drive with the scripts and the templates, and literally the text that I send to agents, put it into a template, copy paste, change the name.
Nice.
Conversations so that you know how to leverage an open house in front of a qualified buyer to get an appointment with that buyer. It's all built out for you. It's $0 to join. Every single strategy is $0 to execute.
You just heard
which
them.
Means whether you make 100K in 100 days or 50K or 25K, your ROI was infinite because it cost you
nothing.
$0.
Wow. So how does someone get involved with this then? What's the best way for them to obviously they got to reach out to you.
Go to my Facebook page. Okay. I'm probably the only Walter Key in real estate. So if you go to Facebook and you put in Walter Key, you're going to find me.
Okay.
Pinned to the top of my profile, I usually keep that challenge there because we're every month we launch it again.
Okay.
We're launching round 3 on August 14th. Okay. So we'll do a 1-hour Zoom call to launch. Everybody gets put into a private Facebook Messenger and a private Facebook group exclusively for the challenge, so we can interact and share wins. And what about this? Have you seen this before? How do I do this? And we give everybody access to the Google Drive with everything they need to execute this. Wow. Literally, the only commitment is show up and do the work.
And they'll be putting 150, 100K. And I love that you said that too. It's not, you will get what you put out of it, but you don't lose anything. Because no matter what, if you come in and follow the plan and do the work, you will build a database. You will have more leads. You'll have more conversations. You'll have more appointments. You will have more closings. And so if you want to work 50%, fine. There's nothing wrong with putting 50K under contract or in the pipeline. I'll take that. I was just talking on another podcast with Chris Rains, and he was saying that from playing kickball 3 hours a week, we did a whole deep dive into how he makes money. He adds an extra $45,000 a year for 72 hours a year. Do you know what that breaks down to? He makes $625 an hour for playing kickball.
He's a professional kickballer, and he didn't even realize.
That's the joke, right? And it's people just don't understand what we can do in real estate. And even everybody's afraid of let's say worst case scenario, buyer agent's commission go down a lot. Even if they go down a lot, tell me where else. Let's take Chris Rains, $625 an hour to do lead gen and follow-up, essentially is what we're really saying. Okay. Yep. If that got cut by 75%, he's still making $150 an hour. Tell me anybody listening right now who can just walk outside right now and go get a job that pays them over $100 an hour.
Yep.
That just doesn't.
Crazy.
Our opportunity in real estate to change people's lives and make a lot of money is unbelievable, even if financially it does diminish, which it does happen in industries. I think it's really the best value is going to win, because I think that's just what history shows us. If you are valuable, people will pay. Otherwise, how's Rolls-Royce in business? How's Mercedes-Benz, right? How are anybody who isn't the cheapest still in business based off that logic? Because inflation's always been going up and times have always been hard. like we just adapt and grow. Well, Walt, this was amazing. I'm really glad that we got to do this 100K in 100 days. And fun fact, you were my first person for this segment that we just kicked off.
It's all downhill from
here. It's all downhill from here. I'm going to tell every guest, listen.
Or no, I guess it's all uphill from here is what I mean.
No, you said it. Everybody heard you. Everybody heard
it wrong.
So I'm going to
Oh,
tell
dang.
everybody, every guest, I'm like, listen, you're already going to suck because Walter Key kicked this off, but
Yeah.
it's okay because we expect that now. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Well, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking time to be on and
Absolutely.
sharing your strategy. Everybody get in on the challenge. Like you said, it's absolutely free. No cost to even do the things within the challenge. So you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yep.
So thank you again, Walt. Appreciate you, brother.
My pleasure. Absolutely.